welcome back to the EZNZ Podcast. We have a lot of little things that we want to talk about today, and we kind of talked about how we might piece this together, and we're not quite sure yet. So it's going to be a bit of an
adventure. We're going to see where the flow takes us.
Absolutely. So first of all, we're going to start with question of the week, which we realised we haven't done for a little while, and Fletcher just can't even focus because while we were setting up, we were talking about our question of the week.
Literally, as I pressed the record button, she just
dropped a bomb, and Fletcher was just like, who are you? I'm not sure of your ability to do your job anymore. I used to think that mice were dumb as well.
Whoa. I'm glad I've got that on camera.
I use a mouse and you've got a trackpad.
Oh my lord.
I'm ashamed.
I'm ashamed for you.
So the question we've decided on for this week is, what piece of technology did you think was absolutely useless until you actually used it yourself?
I'm still thinking.
I've got a few things, and I hope you guys don't think of many differently after this, because they're going to get progressively worse. But the first thing that came to mind for me was those little tile things, and luckily enough I got given one as a gift. You know those things that you Bluetooth pair them to your phone and then they start beeping if you've lost something? I've got it on my keys, and I've never been more grateful for a gift. I don't use it often, but when I need to use it, I definitely need it. Like, not long ago, I got new carpet in my house, so I moved all of my furniture into the garage, and for some stupid reason, I'd put my keys in a box in the garage under other stuff.
That's
so it
horrible.
came the next day, and I was trying to get ready for work and thinking where have I gone? And luckily, at least I was logical enough to put my building pass and those kinds of things with it. But if it wasn't for having that little tile, that little beepy thing, I would have just had to sit outside my house trying to do work while people laid new carpet in my house.
Yeah.
That's and you have one too, and
I've
you've never used it.
No, I haven't.
Just saying.
It might be I might have that same epiphany you had.
Until you need it.
Yeah,
and it could be
You know what? Mum brought me one. Because I lost one key, which was the first time in forever.
I've been with you when you've lost your keys.
Yeah, I know. For some reason, I've been having a lot of brain farts of lately. It doesn't have a keyhole on it. That's Steph's car key. But I did get given one that when you whistle, it'll beep.
That's even more
sounds
helpful.
Really cool, but it's pretty much any high-pitched noise and it'll beep. I remember just sitting there and I was playing some music and all of a sudden this thing just started beeping. And I'm
you're like, what is that? Why is it doing that?
And,
I had that problem with Siri, and in my New Zealand accent, the way I say sorry,
sounds like
activate Siri. And I'm trying not to say hey, because my phone's next to me,
hey,
and
Siri.
I don't want an Irish Siri asking things.
I do have one now.
Okay,
I do have one. And these are totally computer or Windows or Microsoft related, pretty much anyway.
But I just like to think I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
So we have brought this to the internet.
You know what? I really appreciate Philips Hue light bulbs.
Oh, yes.
I love Philips Hue light bulbs.
Thank you, because I want some so badly, and we were talking about this just in our greater office, and people that's just the ultimate version of laziness.
Yeah.
And Fletcher got really hurt.
I got quite upset and told them off. I have a set. I've had them for a while. I'm a little bit gutted because my house has LED lights, so I can only use them in lamps and stuff right now. Yeah. But that's okay. Because I like them so much that I use them. But when you're just chilling in bed or whatever and watching a movie,
there is nothing worse than having to get up and turn the light off.
It's so annoying. It's so annoying. But it's Philips Hue just being able to change that color as well while you're doing it.
Yeah.
I find it very just satisfying. I've really I'm gonna sound like such a dick, but I've really gotten into when I use them, I definitely change the colour depending on my mood if it's at night time.
Yeah.
So blue to chill out and relax.
But I think that's so necessary, and I think that thinking about your space is really important.
100%.
Firm believer, when my room is messy, I get nothing done and I'm in a bad mood.
Yeah.
That's just a fact of the matter, and some days I've just kind of been man, why am I being so sour today? And then I look around and it's because I've got like washing on the floor. And
so I've got, there's lots of tricks that I think if you're aspiring to get Philips Hue light bulbs,
do it.
That's a great There's a few tricks. So I might have mentioned it on the podcast in the past, but there's a fantastic app called If This Then That.
I've never heard you talk about this, so I don't think you have.
It's amazing.
Or I just don't listen to Fletcher So
If This Then That is awesome. I need to use it in more context, but I really use it a lot with these Philips Hue light bulbs.
Right.
So what you can do with this app is you can create commands,
right.
but you can do it really easily. So I'm not a coder, right? So I can't code a command. But what I can say is when I get home, I want my lights, if it's after 4 o'clock, to turn on when I come home.
That's great.
So my phone, it'll sense that I'm at my home location and my Philips Hue light bulbs will turn on.
How wonderful.
I can set it to, turn on times. I can set it to turn on in the morning.
Can you, for example, if you're listening to Post Malone, make your lights go yellow?
I don't know.
Because that'd be really cool. I'd
can.
really enjoy that
can.
if I played some specific music and it changed colour.
You probably can.
Love that.
I just don't. You can definitely.
You've used it more practically than I have.
But you could say if I open the Spotify app, I want my lights to turn yellow. That's 100%.
Really cool.
You can do that at the very least. So it's pretty awesome. It's one of my favourite apps. I think it's one of the best apps that has ever been created.
Yeah.
And paired with Philips Hue, which I just love. I love. I haven't done it because I just haven't taken the time to set it up, and I don't know if it works with every brand of TV. But you can have your light set up to work with to change colours as the movie plays. I have heard
that. Yeah, that's so exciting. If anybody else out there has Philips Hue lights, please convince me to buy them.
I need to get
I'm so close, but then I look at
that you can take outside with you. And you can change the colours.
See, that's just
great.
cool.
And LED strips.
I was talking to a group of people the other day about wanting to get a smart fridge, and they were like, what on earth is a smart fridge?
It's a lot of money still.
And I'm just like, it can read out your calendar for the day and stuff like that. And I'm like, nah, not interested. But I'm
interested. So you could probably pair it with this then that and be like, when I go 200 kilometres away, put it in vacation mode. See, that's probably
so
the stuff
smart, and
do.
I think that there are so many things in technology and such a rapidly evolving environment of these things that I'm sure there's things that my mum Raywin will look at and be like, why do you need that? They were staying at my house last week over the weekend, and Graham and I were out. And I had to try and keep them entertained, so I was just like, look, here's Netflix, here you go. But I had to try and show them how to work Netflix from my Xbox.
You know what it reminds me of is you've got a little kid around and you just get them a tablet, sorry,
pretty much.
Hey, watch a video.
That was literally what I did.
Distract yourself,
But bless them, I showed them how to do it. And so we do have 2 Xbox set up in our house because Graham and I play Fortnite together. And we have 3 Xbox controllers because I've got the one that came with my console and then my Elite controller. And I showed them on my Elite controller how to navigate Netflix. And then I get home and every controller is on the coffee table.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, guys. But that's the thing. And they were just like, you don't play games, Hannah. Why do you have a console? I'm just like, newsflash for you, Mum. I do play games now. But here is everything else you can do. And they were pretty impressed by that as well.
Speaking of games, should we segue straight into it?
Speaking of games,
let's not talk about the game first. Let's talk about the accessories.
The new things. This is so hot off the press that we do not have one here to unbox because it literally got announced just before we started filming, and we couldn't not mention it. What is it, Fletcher?
There's a few new Xbox controllers hitting the market.
Yes.
So one in particular, they got announced at around 11 o'clock today.
Yeah, midday US time or something. I'm not entirely sure. It got leaked on the internet. Goddamn internet, just keep something sacred, why don't you? But
it's great. It's a white controller.
It's called Phantom White.
It's Phantom White, and it's called Phantom White because it's like a ghost. You can see through parts of it, and then it fades into a seemingly solid colour. So it's a white controller, hence Phantom White. At the top, you can see through and see the mechanics of the controller. Can you put a Xbox image
you better believe
here?
I'm gonna put
can you PNG it though? Don't put any white borders. I need my,
don't be over my face. I want my face in this still.
No,
Thanks, Fletch.
No problem.
Thanks for that.
Let's but so you can have a clear top.
Just got announced. Already expects there to be heaps of PNGs on the internet.
Come on, Hannah.
I'll do my best, mate. I'll do my best.
PowerPoint remove background. You've got Photoshop as well.
It's true.
Oh my god.
Paint 3D, actually, this is not relevant to what we're talking about, but kind of relevant because Fletch is clearly very needy. But Magic Select, there is a remove background tool in PowerPoint, which is great, but even better is the Magic Select to remove background in Paint 3D. Highly recommend it. Side note of this podcast. Didn't think Paint 3D was useful? Magic Select.
But it's really cool that you can see the top of it and see through it. And then I do like how it kind of gets glossy and white as it fades down to the bottom of the controller and the controller handles. Yeah. So it looks dope. There's a we heard there's a black version.
I heard there was a black version too.
Maybe Phantom Black.
I would assume Phantom Black. I don't know.
But there's a black version that's apparently already out there. So, and we just missed it.
That's there are an amazing amount of Xbox controllers available. It's actually really hard to keep up. I follow every Microsoft related hashtag possible on Instagram, even competitor ones. Everything is there. I keep getting limited edition Xbox 360s coming up on my feed, which isn't quite the latest news that I want to know about. But there's another one which I wanted to talk about, the Phantom White one, and you took it away from me because I wanted you to be able to talk about this one. All the time. But what is the other one that's been announced recently?
So the other one
is... As soon as I saw this on my Instagram feed, it's this is made for Fletcher. Somebody...
Is it Racing Red? Let me get the specific name. For you, because I was looking at it before.
We should have done this before.
Sorry, guys. Sport Red.
Sport Red.
It's quite a cool red controller. It's actually really similar to we just saw the Phantom White one come up again. The Sport Red is it's not a new chassis, but it's a new color on the chassis of the controller. So
look, mate, there's some PNGs.
So this is a really, really cool bright red controller. Everyone knows I'm a fan of red. It's a red shade that I do quite like. It's like a hot red. But it's also got some nice deep reds on the underside of the controller. It's really nice.
There is a sport white one as well, which has been in market for a little while, and people clearly love that. And we all know that red things go faster.
Red things do go faster. And so that's cool. I'm trying to refine the name of similar controllers to it, because we've actually shown these controllers on our podcast before. Maybe it's just the sports series, if I'm honest, but they've got a little
there is a Phantom
texturized...
Black. Guys, there's a Phantom Black. Here we go.
It's like it's got a texturized graphic on the side of the controller arms. You've seen it already. We've done our PNG up here, so
from
I don't
underneath
know
as well. And I want to say it's similar to the grip on the Elite controller.
Yeah. You're confident.
I am confident.
I think it's just that top part, isn't it? Or is it the underneath as well?
I'm pretty sure it's the underneath as well.
Look at Hannah
maybe doubt
schooling
myself.
Me.
I'm probably going to cut this. I don't know. But
we don't know. If we haven't cut it, you're getting an insight to the podcast.
Subtitles.
But it is a really cool controller. And the other cool thing which I saw today, I was watching Inside Xbox, which is... just something that is run from the US, and they show a lot of cool different news. But they had the Phantom White controller on, and they had a mount and a phone on, and they were demoing Project xCloud, which was pretty cool. Someone was playing Forza on their
I'm
their
so
phone,
excited. The closer that comes to being publicly in fruition, I'm very, very excited about. Because there has been so many rumours in the gaming community about so many things, and a lot of them all circulate around handheld gaming. and ways of handheld gaming. I'm not here to confirm, deny, or discuss any rumours, but there has been a lot of exciting things talked about online. Obviously, the gaming community is a very dedicated community. And speaking of a dedicated gaming community...
You're a dedicated gaming community for Fortnite.
I am, yes. But we have very recently joined... Mixer, and The Division 2. So that is one of the most talked about games. It launches on Friday. But if you purchase the gold edition of The Division 2, like we got talked into doing, so Fletcher got really excited about doing, and I oblige, you had early access to the game, so you can already play it. So we streamed on Mixer yesterday, and we're going to stream again tonight on Wednesday the 13th at 8:30pm New Zealand time. So hopefully the podcast is edited and uploaded by then. So maybe you'll watch this and feel inspired to head over to expertzone_Xbox_ANZ and check that out. But let's quickly talk about The Division 2. We are going to do a full game review next week. But
we wanted a sneak preview.
We wanted a sneak preview because we got a sneak preview to the game getting that early launch.
I'm a big fan of The Division 2. I didn't play the Division 1 a lot because I was a Destiny fanboy at that stage. And living life on Destiny, and it was so were all my mates. But it was very cool to go play The Division 2, which is similar in terms of it being like an online game where you level up and you upgrade perks and you get special abilities and you pick up loot and get new guns as you progress. All that is similar to Destiny, which is awesome, but it's more like you're part of the Division, which was like a group of sleeper agents who have been activated after some crazy muppet released a virus on US dollar bills. I believe. So we're now trying to maintain order. Stop all these factions rising up. But it was good. It was great getting Hannah onto it because this, I don't want to offend you, Hannah, but are you okay for me? Can I speak openly?
Was terrible at this game. Jay, thank you for your comment of saying that I was clearly getting better at gaming. I thought I was too until I played this game, and it took me an hour to get through the opening bit. I had to stream, so you have to get to the White House before you can play as a team online.
So it's got a safe kind of introduction area.
Not safe. I died so many times. It was so hard. So if you're not much of a gamer, I can't recommend this game for you. But speak honestly, Fletcher.
I see this. Okay. If I'm gonna speak honest, and Hannah is getting a lot better at games, and I think if she keeps working at this game and keeps doing it in a safe environment with me and Mr. Stephen Nolan from Western Australia.
I just want you guys to still be my friends.
She will get there. I'll still be your friend. That's no matter what in terms of this. Other things. I don't see it as being a super advanced game. Which I'm gonna put that out there. I don't see it as being super advanced.
Don't let me put you off, guys.
It's a shooter game. It's a third-person shooter. Some of the controls are different to a traditional shooter, but you just get used to them pretty quickly if you like me and grown up playing games. Hannah entered the gaming world a bit later, which means she's
within a year.
It's sneaky. Anyone who picks up games later in life really struggle with the coordination on the controller.
It's when you pick up anything later in life, right?
True.
Kids find it easier to learn languages, learn instruments, all of those kinds of things. So if you're a parent, just let your kid do fun stuff, okay?
And let them game in particular. But I think it's very sneaky difficult to coordinate these two joysticks to look around. I think that's the hardest thing that most people find. And then as well as all of something, I've got to shoot, I've got to remember how to throw a grenade, I've got to remember how to chuck out a special.
I feel like I would just master one thing and then it would be too late and I'd have to do something else.
I think just concentrate on the shooting. The shooting, once you got the shooting down...
My aim is terrible. Like, even in real life, it's not...
I didn't tell you enough yesterday, but sneaky thing is most games have like a hot aim. So if you just tap the aiming trigger instead of holding it down and trying to navigate it, it'll usually zoom straight in the direction of an enemy.
That's information I should have known.
Good one.
So what was extra funny is that when we played it yesterday for the first time, we played with Fletch and our friend Steve, who we'll be streaming with tonight as well. And Fletch has experienced playing with me before, and Steve hasn't. And bless Steve, he just like followed me the whole time, and I was just like, yes, I'm shooting at people, I'm killing it, it's great, I killed someone. He just goes, no, you didn't have to understand but
it happened a lot.
It happened a lot. But
I could see that Hannah progressed as we were playing the game, so I'm petitioning Hannah to keep up. And
we're streaming live on the internet, so they're really forcing me into it.
I think if you just concentrate on that shooting, you'll be good. I really do, because that's the most difficult thing.
I do have to honestly say, as someone who has never played games before, or like honestly wasn't even interested in it really, like maybe as a kid I was like SingStar and Buzz.
Yeah.
Like those were the things where I was like, Mum, I need a console for these things, but like shooting games, all of those kinds of things just never appealed to me. So I think that the things that have changed my mind about that is obviously the story I told you guys in getting my Elite controller and then feeling so bad that I bought an Xbox. But Game Pass is also a huge one. The Division 2 is not on Game Pass. We did purchase that. But the capability of playing online, and I think, you know, even just being able to stream my game and have Fletch and Steve giving me directions and how to get used to things, because my problem has always been just rage quitting. Like, I got so fed up with it that I was just like, nah, like, we were going to do Just Cause 4 in this podcast. I put my hand up and I was like, Fletcher, don't worry about it, I'll do it. Yeah. I didn't get very far. The footage is not going to be fun for you guys to watch. But I'm working on it. So I think it was
a brave choice to choose Just Cause. It
was a lot harder than I anticipated. I got way too big for my boots too quickly. But I think that, you know, how we started talking about this topic was the gaming community and everything going on there. And I think that, like, just people aren't as mean as you think they are sometimes. And I think that it's a really cool thing to be able to do with other people.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that like a lot of people are being like, yes, Hannah, this has existed forever. But being someone new to it, I do think that it's something really cool. And as I said, things like Game Pass are an absolute godsend. So I haven't just spent $157 on the Division 2 to never play it again. These guys are forcing me to do it, and I'm sure I will get better at it, and I'll enjoy it more and more as we go through as well.
To me, the best games, at least nowadays, I do love story-driven games, but I find it difficult to necessarily find time and just keep doing it.
That's the thing, right?
But games like The Division and Destiny and Anthem, which I haven't played yet, but I'm dying to play, playing with your close mates in those games, make those games.
Yeah.
So The Division, I love it. Personally, I think Destiny is my favourite so far in that kind of genre of games. Steve, he's the opposite. He likes The Division because he likes the realistic, not the sci-fi. But I am dying to play Anthem because I love this kind of genre. I love how it's developed. I'm hoping that we can get you into The Division and you'll get confident, and then we can move you on to Anthem, because I think
for now I'm just following these guys around and hoping, try not to die.
You didn't die that much. You didn't die that much.
And that is a goal achieved. So I think in the coming weeks with the podcast, we're definitely going to keep doing game reviews because we enjoy doing them, and I think you guys like them too. Something that we do want to do as well, I haven't told you this yet, but we're also going to mix it up a little and do some family friendly games as well, because we've had that as a request. So I've definitely checked out a couple already. So we're going to have heaps and heaps more game reviews coming.
We might do some sport games.
Some sport games. Fletcher is a big fan of sport games.
See, the funny thing is I'm not. I'm a big fan of the NFL.
Right, okay.
But
so you're more a fan of the actual sports, not the sport games.
Yeah, so the NFL, like, games keep my NFL high going in the off-season. But I appreciate sport games and again, like, creating a great community with friends. So I'm hoping, even if we start off with older versions, because we can't spend $157 all the time.
Every time we want to play something.
I hopefully will slowly bring you games like NHL, FIFA, although everyone knows FIFA, NFL and the NBA. We'll try to get those games nailed out, and
absolutely. And let us know if you do have any specific requests. I know Halo is still in the cards. That's still coming up. But we've got lots of stuff that we want to do with you guys, and we're going to try and bring some friends onto the podcast as well. So watch this space. We've got a lot coming. We're very excited, as we always are, for delivering any information to you guys. But let us know in the comments below if you have any requests of any games, anything that you want us to talk about, any questions you might have. Please follow our mixer as well. That's something new we're bringing into the mix. So expertzone_Xbox ANZ. Check us out tonight, and hopefully we're going to do a weekly stream as well. Maybe it won't just be with me because that's not so fun. And let us know your answer to question of the week. What piece of technology did you find absolutely useless until you used it yourself?
Cool.
Is that all, Fletch?
That's all. Until next time.
We'll see you guys next week.